Okay friends, welcome to a video on astrology. Today we'll talk about your profession, Saturn. Alright, Saturn, the planet in your horoscope, it signifies your karma in this life. It signifies your career or profession. So it is one of the most significant planets in your horoscope. Now Saturn is in which nakshatra that you have to find out. Okay? Saturn is placed in which particular nakshatra out of the 27 nakshatras. So that will be discussed today. If Saturn is in a certain nakshatra, what sort of results you're going to get in this life, what sort of career path or profession you can follow because of Saturn's placement in a certain nakshatra. Saturn is a planet of justice. It is the planet which signifies not just your career, profession, but also the rewards, the gains that you're going to reap as a result of the hard work. Okay? So Saturn is also the planet which is going to reward you for your hard work. That is why it is also the Lord of the 11th house in the chart of the cosmic man. And definitely it is the Lord of the 10th house. It signifies, or it is the significator of the 6th house of daily routine work also. And Saturn also is the significator of the 8th house. So Saturn can also denote or signify obstacles in life. Okay? And it is also the significator of the 12th house in your horoscope. I mean, it is the natural significator of the 12th house. So Saturn also is connected to liberation, spiritual liberation also. Okay? So it is also connected to anything that is foreign, anything that is away from you or foreign. Now this planet is in which nakshatra that you have to find out. Okay? So especially we will focus more on your career path. Okay? So what results you will get in your career, or what karmic patterns will play out in your life with respect to career, with respect to even the way you're going to deal with situations and act. Okay? So all that, because Saturn is also the planet of karma. So let's quickly go through the sample chart and then we will start the discussion. And do subscribe if you want personal consultation, or if you want to learn astrology, you can get in touch with me. Details are there in the video description. And yeah, sample chart. Okay friends, so welcome to the sample chart. Here you can see that this is the chart of a native, and this native is a Leo ascendant. Now in this horoscope, this is a Lagna chart or birth chart. In this horoscope you need to find out where planet Saturn is placed. Okay? So here you can see that for this particular Leo ascendant native, Saturn is in the 4th house. This is the first house, the ascendant, second house, third house, 4th house. Saturn is in the 4th house, you can see, and Saturn is in the sign of Scorpio. You need to find out in which in which nakshatra Saturn is placed. So you can go to the AstroSage app, and there you can have access to the nakshatra in which planet is placed. You just need to open your birth chart and go to the planets tab. So under the planets tab you will find out in which nakshatra each and every planet is placed. So for this particular native, Saturn is in the zodiac sign of Scorpio, and it is placed in Jyeshtha nakshatra. So Saturn is in Jyeshtha nakshatra for this particular native. So that's how you need to find out, in which nakshatra the planet Saturn is placed. And when you come to know about the nakshatra, you will be able to decode various things about, how planet Saturn is going to manifest in your life, what kind of results it's going to give you in this life. Because Saturn, we know, is the planet of karma, and nakshatra is nothing but the karmic patterns that will play out in this life depending on our past life karmas. So nakshatra traps the energy of, past life karmas, the results of which are going to manifest in this life. So it's very important to look at the nakshatra in which a planet is placed. And in today's video, we'll talk about Saturn. Saturn is in Jyeshtha nakshatra for this particular native. Now, let's get started. Okay, so what will happen if Saturn is in Ashwini nakshatra in your horoscope? Now, Saturn is a planet of structure, discipline, hard work. Now, that planet is in this Ashwini nakshatra. Ashwini energy is again restless. Okay, so Ashwini nakshatra stands for swiftness, pace. The animal symbol of Ashwini nakshatra is horse, male horse. Okay, and the symbol of Ashwini nakshatra is the horse's head. The deity of Ashwini nakshatra is the Ashwini Kumaras, the divine twin horsemen. They are, Ashwini Kumaras, they are the celestial healers. Okay, they are physicians to the gods. So people who have Saturn in Ashwini nakshatra, you could be into any sort of healing profession. So you could be into medicine or healthcare industry, any sort of healing, even Ayurveda, any sort of medicine. You could also be into surgery. Ashwini nakshatra is ruled by planet Ketu, and it falls in Aries, so the sign lord is Mars. So Mars Ketu energy is there. So even occult sciences, technology, these are all suitable fields. Any field of research, investigation is suitable for them. Now these people, they may at times face delays in starting some new venture. They want to start something new, some new venture, but they may experience delays. It may happen. Or in their career, in their work, sometimes they may make certain decisions which are not well thought out. They may just want to, they want pace in life also, so that they could have this lack of stability in career. This can happen because they tend to be a little restless when it comes to making decisions pertaining to career, and even in their actions also some restlessness is there. So, but if Mars and Ketu are more or less well placed, then these people, they will definitely be knowledgeable. They will have a lot of knowledge and understanding of things, very deep-rooted understanding of things. They can be great philosophers also. Now, Mars Ketu energy, the Ashwini energy, again, we know the symbol is the horse. So these people, they will do well in their career if they always aim to seek knowledge. Knowledge is the key. Knowledge and discipline, because both Mars and Ketu, they are connected to discipline, structure. So they shouldn't make any decisions in a hurry. Okay, they need to control their restlessness, impatience, impulsiveness. And they need to focus on the work at hand, and they need to be disciplined, structured. These people also can do very well in administration, in the defense forces also. But do not act without thinking. Okay, do not, be impatient. Act whatever actions you're going to indulge yourself in. So be very careful. Saturn in Ashwini. Okay? So if Mars and Ketu are well placed, then definitely these people, they will do well in their career. Then any profession connected to Mars or Ketu. Okay? So whether it is the military forces, defense forces, whether it is any sort of work that involves a lot of structure, discipline, whether it is research, investigation, whether it is occult, psychology, they will do very well. They can also have entrepreneurial skills. They may want to do something of their own. It's possible. They need to focus on their creative skills, original thinking, on their intuition, on gaining knowledge. Then they will really do well in their career. Now let's move on to the next nakshatra, which is Bharani nakshatra. If Saturn is in Bharani nakshatra, Bharani is ruled by planet Venus, and Bharani also falls in the zodiac Aries, so sign lord is Mars. So Mars and Venus energy. So profession can be connected to any artistic field, any creative field. Okay? So any sort of artistic or creative abilities they can have, and they can make a career out of it. They could also be in healthcare, tourism, travel industry, beauty, fashion, cosmetics, nursing and healthcare also, because Bharani, the animal symbol is elephant, male elephant. It signifies power, wisdom, a lot of power. So these people, Saturn and Bharani, they can also do well in administration. Okay? Because Bharani, the deity is also Yama, Lord Yama, the god of death and justice. So any sort of profession where they need to maintain discipline, structure, law and order, they will do very well. They could be in the field of law. They could also be into law enforcement, administration, as I mentioned. These are also very suitable fields. Venus and Mars, so any sort of healing practices, healthcare sector, medicine and healing, occult also. So if Saturn is in Bharani, these people, they can also, if Venus and Mars are more or less well placed in the horoscope, they will like to work in silence. These people, when they work, they don't like others' interference and disturbance. So they also can have entrepreneurial skills. They may want to do something of their own. It's possible. So they may want to have their own independent business also later on. Okay? And the symbol of Bharani Nakshatra is the female reproductive organ or the yoni. Because Bharani Nakshatra, it stands for the cycle of birth, death, rebirth. It is the star of transformation. So your profession can bring about some transformation in your life. Okay? So your career, if it is connected to any of these fields which I mentioned a little while ago, say if you are into occult, if you're into even psychology, healing. So these are all promising fields for you. Now, psychology in the sense that you could be someone who's into counseling. Okay? Venus and Mars combination. So Venus will give you the ability to, deal with other people. And you have the power of providing others with nourishment. That is why healthcare industry, even psychological counseling, these are all suitable fields if Saturn is in Bharani. But yes, your profession will definitely transform your life. It's true. Or you will undergo certain changes in your profession. Certain changes, upheavals will keep coming in your profession, which will redefine your life purpose, your identity. It's possible. So Saturn in Bharani. So these people, they give a lot of importance to their self-dependence. They like to be independent. And they will generally, if Venus and Mars are well placed, then they will believe in always following law and order. They will stick to the norm. And so that is why they can do very well in administration also. Okay? Administration and law, as I mentioned. So they could be into positions of power, authority, also in the field of administration or government. Now let's move on to the next nakshatra, Saturn in Krittika Nakshatra. Krittika Nakshatra is ruled by Sun. Now it falls in Aries and Taurus. So if it falls in Aries, what will happen? Saturn in Krittika. Krittika is ruled by Sun. So especially if it is falling in Aries, then you may enter into problems with people in authority. Be careful. Some clash with people in positions of authority and power initially in life. But eventually you yourself can gain position, authority and power. You can gain if Saturn is in Krittika. All you have to do is be disciplined, structured, keep gaining knowledge and move ahead by dint of your own efforts, by dint of your own capabilities, knowledge and discipline. Then in future you also, in your profession, you can be in a position of power and control if Saturn is in Krittika. So, but initially, you may encounter people in position, in authoritative position and authority, and you may have problems with them. So you need to curb that tendency to revolt against authority. Otherwise, you may land up in trouble. And obstacles will come and there'll be frequent job changes and instability in career. All these things can happen. Now, if it is in Aries, then Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars and Sun, Krittika Nakshatra ruled by Sun. So any field of administration, government, military, defense services, any profession which involves maintenance of law, order, structure, discipline. So these professions will be very suitable for you. Okay? Saturn and Mars. Some profession which is connected to the physical body, like you could be an athlete, you could be into sports also. You could be a gym instructor, you could be into sports, yoga, exercise. That is also possible. You could be into the medical profession. You could be into healthcare industry, Saturn, Mars. You could be into occult. Also, Saturn is in Krittika. Especially I'm talking of Aries. Now if it falls in Taurus, then Taurus is ruled by Venus. Here you may see, like, because Venus after all is Saturn's friend. So what will happen if you have long-term goals and you are hardworking, you will be rewarded for your hard work. Saturn in Krittika, and if it falls in Taurus, your hard work will be rewarded. And also Saturn in Krittika, if it falls in Taurus, if Venus is well placed and if Sun is also more or less well placed, you don't mind working hard. You will believe in hard work, you will believe in your efforts, and you will be rewarded in due course of time. So it may take some time, but you will be rewarded for your hard work. Now Venus and Sun combination. So definitely healing, healthcare. Then what else? You could be into the finance sector, into any field of, you could be into the cosmetics, beauty, fashion industry. You could be connected to that. It's possible. Or you could be connected to any creative or artistic field. Now, Krittika Nakshatra falling in Taurus, you could also be into occult and healing. Okay? Finance sector, banking sector, that is also possible. You could be into real estate. It's possible, Sun and Mars together. I mean, not Mars, Sun and Venus here. But Taurus, after all, Taurus is Earth sign. Sun and Venus. So, but Taurus is Earth sign. So you can be into real estate. Maybe you're working in some real estate industry and you are working with all diligence. Okay, Sun and Venus. Now, so you could also, as I mentioned, healing, healthcare, medicine. These are very suitable professions for you. Even nursing. Now, and finance sector, definitely. And also for that matter, any field of even research investigation, that is also suitable. Because Taurus, will also, Sun is there, Venus is also there. So it will enable you, it will give you the power. Because Sun, Venus are connected to Krittika Nakshatra in Taurus. And so it will give you that ability, that analytical skills you will have. So even research investigation in your profession can help you. You could be connected to the food industry, your profession. Food and beverages also. Okay. So now let's move on to what will happen if Saturn is in Rohini Nakshatra. Rohini Nakshatra is ruled by planet Moon, and it falls in Taurus. Okay, so The symbol of Rohini Nakshatra is a chariot, which stands for growth, development. Okay? And the animal symbol is the male cobra or the serpent. So, secrecy is connected to Rohini Nakshatra. So Saturn in Rohini Nakshatra, which falls in Taurus, you could be into any field of research, investigation. You could be into any artistic and creative field. Okay? Now, Saturn in Rohini, you can also be connected to beauty, fashion, cosmetics, fine arts. Now this is Rohini Nakshatra. We know that it is connected to Moon and Venus, so travel and tourism industry, hotel, hospitality, so all that, hotel industry, so you could be connected to that also. Now, or any field of creativity, creative field. Moon, Venus are there. Moon is the planet of intuition. Venus is also connected to healing and knowledge. So, healing, even occult, healing, occult, and it is also connected to even being someone who could, you could also be into counseling. So, yeah, all these things. Saturn in Rohini. Now, Rohini, whatever professions are connected to Moon and Venus, food industry, travel and tourism industry, so all that. Okay? And occult I already mentioned. Yeah? So, now, what will happen, you see, Saturn is in Rohini Nakshatra. Now, you have to look at the animal symbol. Animal symbol is the male cobra or the serpent. Okay? So, you may be a little secretive about your actions. So, you may plan something, you may decide to do something. You may not reveal your plans to others, because serpent stands for secrecy. Okay? So, yeah. So, all these things, and you can be materialistic. You may want to definitely work hard so that you can gain wealth. You can amass resources and lead a life of comfort, luxury and pleasure. It's possible. So, yeah, all these things about Rohini. So, yeah, and chariot is the symbol. So, growth, development, progress in life. So, definitely you can, if you really work hard, you will see growth in your career and you'll be able to accumulate wealth and resources. Yes. Now let's move on to the next nakshatra. What will happen if Saturn is in? Okay, the next one, Mrigashira Nakshatra. Mrigashira Nakshatra ruled by Mars. And Mrigashira Nakshatra, it falls in Gemini. It falls in both Taurus and Gemini. So if it falls in Taurus, then sign lord is Venus. If it falls in Gemini, sign lord is Mercury. The symbol of Mrigashira is the deer's head, or the deer. That is a symbol. The animal symbol of Mrigashira Nakshatra is also deer. Okay? The deity of Mrigashira Nakshatra is Lord Chandra or Lord Soma, the god of immortality and nectar. Okay, and animal symbol is deer. So what all we can say, first of all, your profession can be connected to any sort of creative or artistic fields if Saturn is in Mrigashira. You could be connected to any field of research, investigation, because the deer is the symbol. So there is a lot of quest for knowledge, quest for truth, quest for identity. So a lot of you may also experiment with us, with certain fields of work and study, and finally you will settle down and decide upon choosing one career path. Especially this will happen when Mrigashira Nakshatra is falling in Gemini. But if it is falling in Taurus, then you may be more focused. Comparatively, you will be more focused from the beginning, and you will be able to decide upon what you actually want to do. So if it's falling in Taurus, then there'll be a lot of Venus energy. So Venus stands for creativity. So any sort of artistic, creative field. Saturn in Mrigashira, if it falls in Taurus, then definitely beauty, fashion, cosmetics, fine arts. So any sort of creative field. So it's possible, creative, artistic field. Any sort of creative skills you may have, or artistic abilities, and you may make a career out of that. Now if it falls in Taurus, you could be in the finance sector also, any field of research, investigation also, even occult also. Now real estate, very much. Mrigashira is ruled by Mars. Mars signifies land, and Taurus is an earth sign. If it falls in Taurus, you should definitely do some job in real estate. Means once in your lifetime, if you are someone who is looking for opportunities and who are thinking you want to do some job, then you should join the real estate industry. If you have not yet decided upon your career path and all. But if you have already decided upon doing something else, then it is fine. If it's connected to some artistic, creative field, if it is connected to even finance sector, that is also good for you if it's in Taurus. But yes, very much connected to real estate. Now Mrigashira Nakshatra, here Taurus is ruled by Venus, so it can also be connected to even hotel and hospitality, even to food industry. Yes. Now if Mrigashira Nakshatra falls in Gemini, then research, investigation, business acumen, you could be into marketing, sales. Falls in Gemini. It falls in Gemini, you will have a lot of inquisitiveness, curiosity to explore things. Even if it is in Taurus, you will have. So Mrigashira, Saturn in Mrigashira, in your profession also, if you really do research, investigation, you will do well. Both in Taurus and Gemini. The more you go deeper into things, do research, investigation, and come up with some truth, you will have a lot of intellectual curiosity. To satisfy that curiosity, you will do research, investigation, in-depth study. So when you do that, you will do very well if Saturn is in Mrigashira Nakshatra. If it falls in Gemini, you can get into even politics. Okay, so because Gemini gives you that ability to, be a little manipulative. So even administration, politics, these will also be very suitable fields. Now, even if it is in Taurus, you can go into administration, because Taurus gives you that ability to, do long-term planning and to be organized. So if it's in Taurus, you could be into managerial positions also. Now, Mrigashira in Gemini, you could go into, you can have great networking skills, and you could go into business, any sort of independent business, or any sort of even partnership business. You can have business acumen. You could be into any sort of networking business, commission business. You could be into, teaching. Mrigashira Nakshatra, Saturn and Mrigashira, you can be into teaching, counseling. Okay? So besides being, even if it is in Gemini, you can have creative skills. Some professional skills you may have, some technical skills you may have. You could do well in technology also. So if it's in Gemini, you could be into technology, information technology. You could get into teaching. You can have counseling ability. You could be a good counselor, teacher. So all these things about Saturn and Mrigashira Nakshatra. If it is in Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So any sort of profession which involves the use of logic, reasoning, whether it is the field of law, whether it is the field of astrology, wherever you need to make use of your logic and reasoning. So any sort of field of, any field of work. So wherein you need to use your intellectual, capabilities. So that sort of work will be very suitable. Intellectual capabilities, your thinking abilities, your abilities to do research, investigation. That is very suitable. If Saturn is in Mrigashira Nakshatra, overall Mrigashira, whether even Taurus or Gemini. So you have a lot of exploratory energy, you want to explore things. Now let's move on to what will happen if Saturn is in the next nakshatra. Saturn is in Ardra Nakshatra. Ardra Nakshatra ruled by planet Rahu. The deity is Rudra, the fierce form of Lord Shiva. Lord Rudra, so, is a deity. And the animal symbol is the female dog, which again stands for loyalty. But again it is ruled by Rahu. So it's better, and it falls in Gemini, ruled by Mercury. It's better if you do some independent business, because you may not be able to, always be accountable to others, to people in authority if you do job. Because you are someone who's very unique, unconventional. You are somebody who's not going to fit in always. You have a very unique perspective about things. You look at things from a very unusual perspective. So you find it difficult to accept injustice. Because when Saturn is in Ardra, you may have a tendency to protest against injustice. So then what will happen? No? You may enter into problems with people in authority. You may enter into because it's a Rahu driven nakshatra. And authority always is denoted by Sun, and Sun and Rahu, they are enemies actually. So definitely you may have problems with people in authority. So for you, even if you're doing job initially, that is okay. See to it that you don't enter into problems with people in power and authority. You have to be very diplomatic, manipulative in a positive way, so that you can diplomatically deal with situations and just get away. If you can do that, then you can get into administration also. It's good for you then. Administration, politics, These are good fields for you. Even occult, counseling, teaching, independent counseling is very good for you. Ardra, the symbol is a teardrop, the gem or diamond. So in profession also, no, you may have to undergo ups and downs, problems. Okay, and then finally, no, the diamond or the gem will be shaped. It will evolve out of the obstacles that you will have to encounter initially in your field of work. It's possible. People may cheat on you, people may deceive you, people may do injustice to you. You may have to explain to them, you may have to be accountable, you may have to, explain things, explain your position to them. And they may be unjust to you. So all these things can happen with you. If Saturn is in Ardra, be prepared for that. So, because, wherever you work, unless you're doing something independently, in every workplace, definitely there will be some politics. You cannot get away from politics. Politics is there everywhere. Even within the household, there can be. So in workplace, definitely. So do not, entangle yourself too much. Okay? So politics will be there everywhere. So try to keep yourself away from office politics as much as you can, from workplace politics, and just focus on your original way of thinking, because you are people who can be, innovative, people who with innovative thinking. Use your innovative thinking abilities in your work. So you can do technological innovation, you can do well in the field of technology, technological breakthroughs, you can be into scientific invention, discovery, whatnot. You could be into occult, healing, teaching, counseling. So just focus on gaining knowledge, sharing knowledge, imparting knowledge. Focus on your intellectual growth, intellectual capabilities, and you will do very well. Any field of research, investigation also very suitable for you. Even the field of law, wherein you need to do research, investigation. These are all suitable fields for you if Saturn is in Ardra. So, yeah. You are people who actually, you are very loyal. Saturn in Ardra, especially if Rahu is well placed in the horoscope, and Mercury also more or less well placed, and you are people who believe in loyalty. So be loyal to your authorities wherever you're working, but be careful. Do not involve yourself in politics. Office politics. Because what will happen, no? Because people may take undue advantage of you. So instead, make use of your intellectual capabilities, and you will outshine others. Okay? So do not discuss anything personal with people at the workplace. Okay, all these things you have to remember. And then by dint of your intellectual capabilities, you will really excel in your career, no matter where you are placed, if Saturn is in Ardra. Now let's move on to the next nakshatra. What will happen if Saturn is in, next one is Punarvasu nakshatra. Punarvasu nakshatra is ruled by Jupiter, and the symbol of Punarvasu nakshatra is the symbol. Okay. I'll come to the symbol. The deity is goddess Aditi. Aditi is the mother of all gods. Okay, she's the goddess of abundance, infinite space, opportunities, prosperity. So she's the deity. okay, of Punarvasu Nakshatra. Punarvasu Nakshatra ruled by Jupiter, and it falls in both Gemini and Cancer. If it falls in Gemini, then sign lord is Mercury. If it falls in Cancer, sign lord is Moon. Punarvasu means resettlement, renewal. So in your profession, some changes, some resettlement will happen in your career. Now, even in your actions also, no? When you act, what will happen, no? Suppose, because Punarvasu is resettlement, and it is also, I think, referred to as, there's one more term associated, or phrase associated with Punarvasu, return of the light. Return of the light. So it is possible that you will, you may want to review your actions when Saturn is in Punarvasu. Suppose you have already decided to do something and you have acted accordingly. So here I'm talking about how you're going to act in life. I'm talking about your karmas. So maybe you've already done the act, and then you will may want to review it. You may also, this will happen very much again if Saturn is retrograde, then this intensity will increase. Now even if Saturn is not retrograde, Saturn is in Punarvasu, what will happen? No, you will act upon something, you will decide on something, and you will act accordingly. And then after a certain period of time, you may realize that you need to go back to what you were doing initially. This can happen. So this can happen not just in your career, it can happen in general. So even means your actions will be guided now will be influenced by Punarvasu. Punarvasu shows some resettlement, some return also. So either you will, after making a decision and then after acting accordingly, you will realize, oh, why did I decide upon this? I should fall back, on my old ways. I should fall back on what I was doing earlier. So you may want to go back to your old ways. This may happen. Now in career, this will be very much evident. So in career, what will happen? You are doing some job, then there could be some resettlement, some change, and then later on a period will come when you may think of going back to that job. Now these things will happen very much, the intensity will increase during the Saturn's Dasha, Antardasha, Pratyantardasha. Then you will experience that more. That, oh, I need to go back to what I was doing earlier, some career path. I have used to follow that career path. In between you left that, you started something else. Then later on you may want to go back to that original career. It may happen. Or there will be some resettlement, renewal. You will follow a different career path altogether. Initially you were doing something, then you will leave that totally and you will follow a totally different career path. That is also possible. Diversification, change in career, renewal of career path, or going back to the original career. So all these things are possible when Saturn is in Punarvasu Nakshatra. And the symbol is a bow and a quiver of arrows. That is a symbol. Bow and arrow. So these people are very goal oriented actually. Saturn and Punarvasu. Very goal oriented. Now, very ambitious. Okay. So, yeah. And ambition is there. Goal oriented nature is there. And these people, they have this capability of, say they were doing something, and then what will happen, no? They realize one fine day that they are not happy with what they are doing. these people know they have this ability to begin something new from the scratch again. So they have that power. Okay, so they have that vision actually. That never mind, I have so many years have gone in doing something, it's okay. Now I'm done with this field of work. I will begin something totally new, and they will begin from the scratch. So they are not afraid of total renewal and resettlement. Now if it falls in Gemini, then definitely teaching careers, teaching, any creative artistic field, skills. I mean, Gemini is connected with skills, so any sort of skills you may have, artistic skills, professional skills, technology, research investigation. If it falls in Gemini, business acumen, networking, commission business, so sales, marketing, all that if it's in Gemini. Even any field of work which involves research, investigation, your intellectual capabilities, field of law, counseling, teaching, all that. If Punarvasu is in falling in Gemini. If it falls in, even occult is connected to Gemini also. Occult, even psychology, psychological counseling and all that. Now if it falls in Cancer, then Cancer is ruled by Moon, so food industry, again creative artistic fields. Now Moon, here travel and tourism industry. Okay, Cancer, water element, Moon, so travel and tourism industry, hotel hospitality industry. Now creative artistic fields, any field of intuition, occult. Here also in Cancer also research investigation possible, even technology going, because any field of work or study wherein you need to go to the depth of things and do research investigation, that is also connected to Cancer. So if Punarvasu is in Cancer, you can do any of these fields. You could be into healthcare industry also, healthcare. Even real estate is connected to the sign of Cancer. So yeah, all these things, Punarvasu people, they are determined. They have a lot of determination. The symbol, animal symbol I have mentioned, bow and arrows. Very goal-oriented, ambitious, determined. And the animal symbol of Punarvasu is female cat. Female cat is the animal symbol. So they can also be a little secretive about their work, and they can be very clever. Very clever. They know how to, reach their goals and targets. So very clever, intuitive, secretive also. Okay. So they will also, believe in adaptability, and they have this power of adaptability. They can adapt to new circumstances. They have a lot of adaptable capabilities, or how should I put it, adaptive powers. So their sense of adaptability is very high and very powerful. They can change themselves also according to the changed circumstances. So all these qualities they will have. And so if Punarvasu Nakshatra, and secretively also they can very secretively and carefully, so they will move towards their goals, and they will follow their ambition. Means these people they will not like to make too much of a noise. So change in career path, changes are happening, resettlement is happening, but they will try to do things in silence, and people will be taken aback by their achievements also in future. It's possible. Now, in their professional front, it's possible that they may be misunderstood by people. That is also there. So again, they should also not get carried away by office politics or workplace politics. Try to keep yourself aloof, keep yourself away from that as much as possible, because people will tend to misunderstand you. So just focus on your work, on your knowledge, on your skills, and then you will do well in career. Now let's move on to the next nakshatra. What will happen if Saturn is in Pushya nakshatra? Pushya nakshatra is ruled by Saturn itself. So Lord Saturn is only the ruler of Pushya nakshatra, and Pushya nakshatra falls in Cancer, so it's ruled by Moon, Saturn Moon. Now, profession, it could now let us look at the deity. The deity of Pushya nakshatra is Brihaspati. Brihaspati is actually Jupiter. Brihaspati Dev is the god of all the gurus. Okay, so you can be a very good counselor, teacher, teaching profession, professor. You can be a spiritual guide also. Even you could be into religious practices, religious preacher. Now, Saturn in Pushya nakshatra, very good counselor, consultant, as I mentioned. You can also do very well in the field of law. The field of law is very good for you. Even the field of administration, law enforcement, all that. Now, Saturn, again, Moon is also there. So, you can also have great powers of intuition. The Saturn Moon, you can be you can do well in the field of occult also. Saturn Moon is a very good combination for going into the field of occult, for being a consultant, a counselor, even healer, psychological counselor. You could go into astrology. Saturn in Pushya. You could be even into technology. It's possible. Now, Saturn in Pushya nakshatra, any sort of research, investigation, data analysis, that is also suitable for you, for your career. Now, Saturn is also connected to metals. So you could be connected to the metal industry. You could be, associated with the metal industry. Possible. Any kind of metal. Now, Saturn Moon is there. So, any sort of metal it could be. Alright. Now, Saturn Moon, you can also be connected to underground mining, some manufacturing, certain things, underground mining and all. That is also connected to Saturn and Moon. So, Saturn Moon, Pushya nakshatra. Pushya nakshatra, the symbol is cow's udder. So it is this nakshatra which stands for nourishment, providing nourishment also to others. So healthcare industry, very suitable for you. Nursing, healthcare, nursing profession, healthcare industry, medical profession, very suitable. Healers, doctors, taking care of others, providing others with nourishment. So all these professions are suitable for you. Now, Saturn and Moon. So it can also be connected to Pushya nakshatra. It falls in Cancer sign. It can be connected to real estate also, to food industry also, because after all there is Saturn and Moon. Now, Saturn is there. So if the food is connected to, suppose you're dealing with the food industry, then there should be various types of cuisine there. I mean, various continental or foreign, the kind of cuisine that is followed by, or that is prevalent in foreign countries. So you should, that sort of, there should be variety of, if you're connected to the food industry. And all these things, Saturn, Moon, and so what else? I mean, occult I mentioned. You could be into the field of occult. You could also be into spiritual practices, meditation, yoga. So these things also. Independent counseling, I've mentioned. You can also have creative and artistic abilities, because after all, it falls in Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by Moon. So creative, artistic abilities. You could also be connected to travel and tourism. Yes, Pushya Nakshatra. Besides being connected to real estate. So yeah, all these professions are suitable. Any field of research, investigation, technology is also suitable for you. Any field which involves your use of creative and artistic abilities. So, or any field of work where you need to share your knowledge. Because after all, Brihaspati, Lord Brihaspati is the deity, so which is Jupiter. So Jupiter's energy, knowledge, and Saturn, both now is getting combined. So the field of law, consultancy, professor, teacher. So yeah, all that. Now, you should do some charity in your life. You'll be blessed by the divine if Saturn is in Pushya. You have some karma connected to helping others and being charitable to others in this life. So do that. That will enable you to receive divine blessings. So you should engage yourself in charity, in charitable activities. Okay. So all these things, when Saturn is in Pushya Nakshatra. The animal symbol. The animal symbol of Pushya Nakshatra is the female goat. Cow's udder, so it is connected to the cow's udder, which is the symbol, so nourishment that is provided by the cow. So that is all connected to Pushya Nakshatra, but the animal symbol is female goat. Female goat. So Pushya Nakshatra people, in their work, they will believe in stability, adaptability actually. Even if changes happen in their workplace or in their work, changes can happen because moon is there. They may need to travel for their work. If they travel, it's good for your work. Or changes can keep coming, but adaptability. You will have this power to adapt to the changing circumstances. Adaptability, survival, ambition. So male goat, it signifies all of that. Ambition, adaptability, survival. So all these qualities will be there in Pushya Nakshatra people. Long-term planning, and they will know how to execute their plan. So they will also be very intuitive. They'll have powers of intuition. They'll have a vision. So all that will enable them to do well in their career. Finally, let's move on to the final nakshatra. Today I will take up the first 9 nakshatras. So this is part 1. Don't worry, other nakshatras will be coming up in the near future. So finally today, in today's video, Saturn in Ashlesha Nakshatra. Ashlesha Nakshatra falls in Cancer again, ruled by Moon. Ashlesha Nakshatra is ruled by Mercury. And the deity is the Naga, Lord Nagas, or you can say the serpent deities. Deity is the Nagdev, you can say, or the Naga or the serpent deities. They signify wisdom, hidden treasure, mysticism. Okay, so these people, no, Ashlesha, serpent energy, no, serpent deities. So, and the animal symbol also is the Ashlesha. The symbol of Ashlesha is the serpent. Okay, symbol of Ashlesha Nakshatra is a serpent. So, a lot of secrecy, even manipulation is connected to Ashlesha energy. Along with that, the animal symbol is the male cat. Male cat. So very secretive, very stealthily, secretively, they proceed towards their goal. Ashlesha people. Others, no one will be able to know what they are up to. So they can be very manipulative, very clever. They're, the way they will plan things and execute their plan, no, is beyond their enemies' imagination. Their enemies or their rivals, they can't even imagine. They can never get there. Because very intuitive, very secretive also. Ashlesha. So now Saturn in Ashlesha, so all these qualities. So they can excel in research, investigation, any sort of research, investigation, investigating crime. So they could be in the field of law. They could be associated with the field of law, independent consultant, legal consultant, or any sort of consultant. Healers, great healers. Healers. So healthcare industry, they could be connected to that also. They could be connected to healing, occult, research, investigation. These are all suitable fields for Ashlesha. Wherever you need to use your brains, your intellectual capabilities. Mercury. So great psychologists they can make. Great psychological counselors. So they can do well in research, investigation of any kind. So they need to make use of their intellectual powers. Mercury, Moon, and again, why Moon? It falls in Cancer. So very creative also. They could be into any creative and artistic field also. That's possible. They could be into writing, journalism, singing, dancing, music. So they could be connected to that also. And they will excel in research, investigation. Any field of research, investigation, even technology, even the field of law, medical science. So these are also all suitable fields for Ashlesha. They just need to make use of their intuition and gain knowledge and impart their knowledge to others. Ashlesha Nakshatra. Ashlesha Nakshatra, as I told you, they also believe in adaptability. They believe in secretive planning and execution. Okay, very stealthily, secretively, quietly, they will proceed towards their goal and they will, achieve the impossible and shock their opponents. Because, look at the symbol, animal symbol also, male cat. Yes, so they know how to, deal with difficult situations and how to adapt to changing circumstances, and survival is the key, they know. So, yeah. And serpent energy, a lot of serpent energy. Serpent deities are associated with it. The symbol is also the serpent. So definitely, in their work, whatever work they do. So they could also move towards spiritual practices. They can do well. They can do well because they have this ability to, even tap into the Kundalini energy and all. Because a lot of serpent energy is there. So they may, do meditation also, spiritual practices also. And in those fields also they can do very well. So yeah, yoga, meditation, spiritual practices, occult practices, healing practices, psychological counselors. So these are all wonderful fields for Ashlesha people. Okay, so yeah, so all these things about what will happen if Saturn is in Ashlesha Nakshatra. Now, Ashlesha ruled by Mercury, and here it is falls in Cancer, so Moon. They could also do well in the banking sector. They can do well in the banking sector because, after all, here Mercury, Moon, both are combined. So they may also be connected to Ashlesha, They can be connected to any field of work which are associated with Mercury and Moon. So finance sector is also suitable for them. They can do very well as chartered accountants, Ashlesha people. Chartered accountancy, audit. So in these fields also they can do very well. So yes, friends, Ashlesha people, they have this capability to, solve mysteries, puzzles, and to solve difficult cases. So that is why the field of law, or they could be into any field of investigation, research. So these fields are very suitable for them. Now Mercury, Moon combined, so they have a lot of intuition also. So the Ashlesha people, they can also do well in administration. They can do very well in government sectors, in administration. They will do very well also. Ashlesha people, they know they can excel in administration, in the administrative sector also. So yeah, and because they are so manipulative also, and yet very intuitive and secretive, they can do well in politics also. So yes, that was my take on Saturn in Ashlesha, and that was also my take on Saturn in all different nakshatras which I covered today. Remaining nakshatras will come up in the forthcoming videos. Do subscribe to the channel. If you want consultation, you can get in touch with me. If you want to learn astrology too, you can get in touch. So yes, friends, see you next time. Take care. Thank you.